All right, take two. Let's see what happens. Yes! She works. She works. Although, damn it. Now I can't see your chats. Unreal. Let's see if they're in the scene collections. If that's the worst thing I can't see, then so be it. So be it. I'll go ahead and switch it to the video here on YouTube so I can get caught up with you guys and what you're saying. Let's go ahead, get on this one. All right, there we go. There I am. What's up, GB Taylor? All right, let's get started with this show. Officially, thank you all for being here. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Again, I'm not sure what the hell is going on with this software, but it's been driving me absolutely bonkers. So anyway, welcome to Lou Reviews, the destination for critical thinking in the realm of the unexplained. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, smash that bell. That way you don't miss any time we go live multiple times. If you like, you can support with the almighty dollar. The link for our Patreon is in the description below. All right, so we got a couple things to talk about today that I wanted to get into. Very interesting day in ufology, I guess we could say. Let me go ahead and turn that down there for you guys. So there's been a lot of sort of excitement from the UFO community about November. And it seems like every November this happens. Every time around the end of the year when the NDAA is about to get signed, a whole bunch of news seems to drop right before that. So we're in that time of year where for whatever reason UAP news decides to drop. So earlier today, let me go ahead and switch here to our boom. Camera's working. Thankfully. Hiya, and thanks for being here. Again, sorry for the tech difficulties there, and thank you for being patient as we are growing and learning every day on this show. So it takes a lot to produce a show by yourself. Anyway, let's not making excuses, Lou. All right, here we go. And also, I hope the sound's much better than it was the last stream. I went ahead and adjusted my mics. I know we've got the Out There channel, who is absolutely a hound for good sound from the microphone. So I hope this meets your standards, buddy. All right, let me go to my bookmarks here. And I'm going to go over a couple things. So let's, I guess, first get to Stephen Greenstreet tweet today, which was really interesting. So Stephen Greenstreet posted 11 hours ago today. Insider claims Sean Kirkpatrick, the head of AARO, the all-domain anomaly resolution office, for those who don't know, the Pentagon's UFO office, is leaving and will be replaced. So the rumor is that he's leaving, that he maybe, is he quitting? Is he resigning? Is he being fired? We don't have the details yet. According to the source, some UFO activists already know who will be the replacement, or who the replacement is, and are happy someone more UFO minded will now head the Pentagon office. So some rumors have been thrown out there. Jay Stratton, you know, who knows, man. I wouldn't shock me if it's Dave Grush at this point. I mean, this is such a clown show. So a lot of, like, he's got a poll. Who will be the next head of AARO? Christopher Mellon, Lou Elizondo, Carl Nell, other. Post below. I don't know who Carl Nell is, but out of these two, man, wouldn't shock me if it was Lou. Other. I wonder what other people are saying here. Oh, man. Anyway, so that was the big rumor today. I had responded to this, and he responded back, Stephen Greenstreet, basically along the lines of, well, here's a tweet right here. I wrote, do you think this rumor holds weight? UFO Jesus did call it Numinous November. So, that must mean it's going to be an important month. And Stephen wrote back, I always expect this stupid story to always get stupider. So, yes. When like if it's a Travis Taylor or a Gary Nolan or something stupid like that would be the worst thing that could happen to the conversation. If you're a UFO enthusiast, the thing that you should want in this office is someone who questions the hell out of it. And that's going to share the answers when there are answers available to the questions that you have. So far, they haven't found any of those answers. And also keep in mind that all of you asked for this office. You asked for it. So now the office has been created. The budget has been set. People have been hired. Information and data has been looked at and poured over. And so far, nothing to report on the non-human intelligence front. And the ones that are anomalous are anomalous because there's not enough data on them. There's not a corroborating sensor. There's not an asset on the ground that can confirm what you're seeing from a satellite is actually a balloon or a sphere or a drone or whatever. These scientists are looking for corroborating data. And usually, not usually, but pretty much every time they do have corroborating data and enough data on the table, it turns out to be prosaic. So that's what they found. And again, you guys asked for this office. So what's going to happen, even if you do get a UFO-minded person in there and they get shut out or they don't have the classified clearance, or it's just going to depend on who this is. But let's say they do have the clearance. Let's say they do get into these programs. Let's say they do get all access to all of this stuff and they come back and they say, look, there's interesting tech in there, but it's classified. I can't share with you. But one thing I can tell you is that all of it is made by human hands. What would you guys say to that? How would you guys react to that? I have a feeling you'd do the exact same thing you're doing to Kirkpatrick, you'd be doing to this new person. So we'll see. Again, time will tell. And I can tell you, if it is a UFO minded person, that does you guys no favors whatsoever. Zilch. So just keep that in mind. Be careful what you ask for. I mean, clearly you guys cannot accept the information from the things you've already asked for. You just can't. So I don't know what you're going to do with the next guy, but hey, we'll be here to cover it. So now everybody's been asking, okay, well, why this kind of came out of nowhere. And so the other day, the Local 556 informed me, and I had heard from somebody else. I mean, I can't see this because Ross Coulthard has blocked me. Local 556 said possibly the result of Coulthard's most recent doxing of Kirkpatrick. Maybe Kirkpatrick has had enough of calling it like it is and getting smeared by zealots. They want their damn aliens, and they'll do whatever it takes to make it a reality. So, what? Ross Coulthard, a journalist, doxed the lead scientist to the Aero office? That's interesting. Okay, so to which I replied, well, can somebody please screenshot that? Because I'd love to see it. And he replied. So this is the first text out of 3. One of 3. Is current DOD Aero boss, Dr. Sean, and this is Ross Coulthard writing this for those listening on podcast land. Is current DOD boss, Aero boss, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick moving on? He registered his LLC 2 weeks ago, the 16th of October, Nonlinear Solutions, to an NC address, North Carolina, I'm assuming. Bought it with his wife in November 2017, which I will not be publicly disclosing. And I urge others to respect his privacy. Do you think sending out a tweet like this with the legal name of the company, the LLC, the status, the SOISID number, so I'm assuming that's some sort of business number, the date it was formed, the citizenship, the annual report due date, like all of this information and who registered it. And it has 137,000 views as of 4/29 on November 1st. West Coast time. So that's could have doubled by now. Oh, GB Taylor just donated $10 through Super Chat. Thank you so damn much. Look at that. It worked. The thing worked. Awesome. Well, the good news is, guys, this stream seems to be working really well. So hopefully going forward, it'll be all the same. We're not dropping frames. The internet's not running slow, which I call my cable guy. What? You know what? Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Let's just keep moving. Okay. So then the second tweet says, and again, just going back to this, like, it's asinine to think that out of those 137,000 people and all of the harassment that we've heard about and all of the things that have happened to members of NASA, to other scientists, to people within the community, I being one of them, among a load of other people, you think they're not going to harass this guy even more? Or now his wife? You brought his wife into this? Ross Coulthard, what kind of journalist are you? This is like sick shit, man. I urge others to respect his privacy. No, you're not. You're giving them all of the information to not respect his privacy. You're doxing all of this information. So this is tweet number 2. Sean M. Kirkpatrick is now registered as staff with the Department of Energy, Oak Ridge National Laboratory. ORNL is run by UT Battelle at Energy. So that I'm thinking the Department of Energy. If this is Kirkpatrick, then the Battelle link raises serious perception of conflicts, conflict questions. So he found then now that a guy with the exact same name has just been hired with the Department of Energy at National Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and again, doxing where he works. If he did get a new job, if he is moving on from Arrow, why the hell are you talking about it? I cannot wait to see what they do to the next person. If this is true, if this information is accurate, and we'll get to what Susan Goff said, because, of course, Stephen Greenstreet emailed Susan Goff about it, and she had a response. And honestly, it seems like the Department of Defense, this is the first they're hearing of it. And honestly, I think Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick could probably do both jobs. Let's be honest. He could probably do both jobs. There's not that much data that is worthy of looking at in Arrow as of right now. And that's a whole nother butting of heads right now. You've got Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick saying that he's emailed and tried to contact David Grush multiple times to meet with him. And David Grush is saying that's a flat out lie. Who are we supposed to believe? Who has, out of the two, who's still got classified clearance? Who still works for the military? Who's still respected by his peers? I'm going to believe Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick when he says he's tried to reach out to this guy and he hasn't reached back. Just like he can't pay for his fucking plane tickets to go tell the greatest secret in the world to lawmakers. It's not that big of a stretch, you guys. Like, even if Sean Kirkpatrick takes another job, I think he could do both jobs. And plus, he's not the only one looking at data. Like, he's the boss. There are a number of other people, scientists and people looking at the data other than Sean Kirkpatrick. He takes all the information that presents it to everybody. He's the face of it. He's the meat shield. And maybe he's had enough. Maybe he's had enough of all the harassment and all the bullshit. Like, this topic's not worth it. You guys asked for scientists. You asked for credibility. You asked to be have your feet held to the fire. And when it is, and the data doesn't come back in your favor, you get all butthurt about it. You get all upset about it. That's on you. That's on you. I hope Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick doesn't go anywhere. I hope he stays exactly where he's at, because his presence is a thorn in the side of these prophets of profit. I got to just keep going back to that saying, these prophets of profit. And so then we go to it wasn't good enough to just say Oak Ridge National Laboratory. He has to take a picture of it too and put it right on his Twitter account. Also on the Battelle board, Stephanie O'Sullivan, former deputy director of ODNI and ex-CIA director of science and technology, as Liberation Times reported. She has previously denied awareness of a UAP crash retrieval program, with a link to a Liberation Times article, the most unreliable source when it comes to the UAP discussion. Right up there, Ross Coulthard is really making a nice little cozy snuggle up to them. And it's funny, so does Jeremy Corbell, and so does Sean Cahill. All of these hucksters, all of these fraudsters, all of these guys that were sitting in the front row of a congressional hearing are pushing this publication. That has not corrected 29 Palms, like that egregious mistake, among other things. So many things that publication has got wrong. I'm not going to go through them. It's not worth my time, and it's definitely not worth your time. Highly recommend you stay away from Liberation Times. But this doxing, like, this is why these people aren't sticking around if they are leaving. Because of you. Because of you, the zealots, the cult members, listening to your gods, your prophets of profit, and you just can't handle the truth. You can't. You're absolutely losing your minds. You're losing all rationality. You're losing all grip of reality. I mean, totally. It's funny, like, all of these guys that are making fun of me for saying that balloons and jet streams could reach speeds past Mach 1. Like, that's real technology. It's just like, they'll take any facts, they'll take any information and twist it or mock it because it doesn't fit their narrative. Many spy balloons are released into these jet streams, and they move fast as hell. Really, really fast. I mean, there's jet streams in our atmosphere thousands of miles per hour. Like, some serious wind going on up there, guys. I mean, Tupacabra's at Mach 5 right now. It's just, this is like, it's just sad, man. Like, to see this shit. Really is. It's frustrating as shit too, man. You know, and this is like, look, before I critique this, you know, like, I like Jay. I personally, I like him. I know that outside of our disagreement with this, we would have a lot of fun conversations in all aspects of life. And I think they would be super civil, and I think they would be a lot of fun. With that said, you know, and I've been talking to him behind the scenes, and I've been trying to warn him about the things I've seen, the things that have happened to me. And it's, I think, things like this that blind him to what's going on. I mean, it's just, it feels a little bit like grooming, if you ask me. And Project Unity writes, one thing I will never forget is when Ross Coulthart found out I was doing interviews on a half-broken iPhone because I couldn't afford a laptop. He and a small group of friends that we both talked and banded together and sent me the money to buy a laptop. It was Richard Dolan who really gave me a boost, giving my channel a shout out to discuss the Admiral Wilson documents which Admiral Wilson has vehemently denied. Jay King, this is just another guy who is the worst. The absolute worst. Thanks, Jay King, for my first opportunity to speak on stage at this year's Contact in the Desert conference. Jay and Engaging the Phenomenon have done a great job establishing their own conference space over at Inquire Anomalous. It's just, these people are they're his heroes. They're his friends. And they've bought his loyalty. They've bought his loyalty. They bought a guarantee that you, a really smart guy that could question this in some really unique ways, you never will, because you don't want to ruin this friendship. I get it. Of all people. James Craig, thank you for the donation. $10 super chat. Look at that. Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is a serious scientist. He is done with the UFO woo. I agree. I 100% agree with that. If he is moving on because of this, I hope he says that. You know, and I hope that he has a lot of say in who replaces him. And I hope it upsets the community, the believer community, just as much as Kirkpatrick did. Because if it does upset them, that means it's the right person for the job. It means it's going to be a really critical eye on everything that comes across the table. Like, we need to be better than this, man. We need to set the bar way higher. Way, way higher than this. And I know one day, because I know Jay sees a lot of this shit. He sees it. How can he not? I call him out on it quite a bit. The seed of doubt has been planted in his brain. And I think the only thing that is delaying the rainstorm to get to that seed is his own experience. I would love to have a real, genuine, honest conversation with Jay about his experience. In particular, his experimentation with psychedelic drugs like mushrooms and things like that. Has he taken those drugs before he had that experience? During that experience? Have you taken them after that experience? Because I get the vibe that you might be into some mushrooms, which is cool. No judgment if that's the case. But if that is the case, there has to be some room for a conversation about whether or not those experiences have maybe rewired or added something to the brain chemistry that is giving you these visions, or that one vision that one time. And again, I think that is more theoretically possible and more likely, like mathematically likely, that that is what's going on, or some amalgamation of that. That's not far-fetched, man. That's not a far-fetched thing to say. So I'm wondering if there would be an honest conversation about something like that, and whether or not you can step back from that personal experience, Jay, and say to yourself, shit, you know, maybe taking a bunch of mushrooms helped cause these visions. Like, or experimenting with DMT. Like, there's one thing about DMT, and I know DMT, if I'm not mistaken, can be naturally produced in the brain, or elements of DMT can be naturally produced in the brain. But the one thing about DMT that for sure, almost every single person that takes it, they experience the beings, like these other entities that communicate and interact with you. And sometimes it's frightening, sometimes it's insanely enlightening and feels great and it's very groovy. But every single human has the same experience. Now, are they having the same experience because there's something there? And we can access it with this drug that acts as a filter to this other dimension? Maybe. We're gonna have to do a lot more science on a theory like that. Or maybe that's just the common side effect of that drug being introduced to the human body chemistry and brain chemistry. It's not an unfair question at all. And I think, I mean, it takes a lot of self-awareness to step back and say, yeah, that's possible. Maybe the orange orbs that flew through me and around me were a byproduct. Getting high, man. Like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, the ex rock star with the metal balls and the shavings that they got from that, you know, that guy who was traveled with, what was it, the Grateful Dead or some other big rock band for 20, 30 years. And then he retires and all of a sudden he's got huge metal balls on his lawn that he claims are alien. Like, and admitted to basically taking acid for 20 years. He still takes acid. Like, the guy, you know, it's just like, yeah, of course you're going to think it's aliens. Of course you're going to think you can see things or can access other things. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Oh, I forgot to get into what Susan Goff said. Let's go back to that real quick. Because Susan Goff did respond. And Stephen... Okay, so here it is right here. So Stephen says, I asked the Pentagon to respond to rumors Sean Kirkpatrick was leaving Arrow and being replaced. DOD's Susan Goff replied, quote, Dr. Kirkpatrick remains the director. Arrow, the director, I guess, of Arrow there. Maybe he missed it. Dr. Kirkpatrick remains the director of Arrow. We have no Arrow personnel announcements to make at this time. maybe in a week they'll have an announcement. Or maybe this is just all bullshit made up by the UFO community. That's a possibility too. Like this whole rumor was just made up. And somebody got all of these UFO zealots excited for no reason. God, I would love for that to be the case. I really, really would. That would be the best. The absolute best. Oh, GB Taylor says, keep fighting the good fight with the $10 donation. So thank you very much there. King Milkfart Harassment Archive with a $1.99 donation says, hashtag whistleblower UFO Shane. Sorry that I missed those early ones, guys, but I hope I got them all. Hope I didn't miss anything. But yeah, seems like a lot of you guys are digging what I'm putting down. Yeah, I mean, you know, Stephen Greenstreet does say here that, you know, that they don't address his question really in that statement. And it's true. I mean, they could just say simply no or yes, you know, or possible announcements coming soon on things like that. We'll be, when we're ready, we'll make those announcements. You know, it's just, he remains the director of Arrow and we have no Arrow personnel announcements to make at this time. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like that's a nice way of saying, nah, he ain't going anywhere and we're not replacing him. So we'll see. We shall see. Okay, going back to these bookmarks here. Okay, so this is something that I really wanted to show you guys because it's funny, number one. It's really cute. It's really funny. But it also just goes to show how wild the human brain and what it can subconsciously make you do without you even realizing. And if you were living alone, and if you were in a UFO support group, and if you were hypnotized by some hypnotherapist and listened to Coast to Coast AM and hung out in spaces for 12 hours a day, experiences like this would, I think, manifest themselves into something that's just not there. And so I just wanted to play this because this is just a really good reminder that, hey man, the human brain does some weird shit. So this is a lady who is sleepwalking, and her husband or boyfriend or someone who's staying at her house that knows this condition of hers is on the couch. Clearly someone who cares for her, right? So someone who's there and just make sure she doesn't get hurt. Maybe he's even sleeping on the couch because he knows she goes out there all the time and he's just there to make sure stays safe. You know, doesn't do anything that she might hurt herself. So just check this out. This is absolutely, it's funny, but it is like, she has no idea she's doing this. She has no idea she's walking around the house doing this. But all right, let me turn up the volume here so you guys hear it. But yeah, check this out. She's got a big jar of salt walking around her living room. Just sitting there staring into the distance. I mean, like, can you imagine if you walked, what happens if this, nah, that's not gonna work properly. Can you imagine if you walked into her doing this, staring at this duck on the shelf, and listen to what she says. She's talking too during this, which is really funny. It's kind of hard to hear.
Gold star. Wait.
Dude, she just walked, like, again, for the people in the podcast, I can't see this. She just walked into this room. It's like, wait. Like giggling to herself, and then flips the bird and then just runs away giggling off screen. It's so funny, dude. And she's got a hamper just walking around, and this guy, like, it's got like little subtitles where where she's saying things and her husband, like, it shows her husband sitting on this couch and he's like, this is my life, and subtitles like, this is wild, dude. Look at her. She's grabbing her boobs, telling people to shh while she's
So big.
He's just grabbing her belly fat, like just walking around. Dude, it's insane. Asking people if they want salt. Like, this is wild, man. Like, Neopop, what does this prove? Again, this proves like the human brain, man, is capable of some wild shit. So like, it wouldn't be that far-fetched for your brain to make up. Again, like, if this person didn't have a husband, was super lonely, was doing hypnotherapy, was doing, UFO, 10-hour UFO, spaces, like, I think experiences like this, where she wakes up, she goes to sleep in her bed, and then she wakes up just like this in the middle of the night, and she's got all of those people or kinds of people around her, nobody that lives with her that can say, hey, you're just sleepwalking. She could turn this into an alien abduction, easily turn this into an alien abduction. I go to sleep every night. Every night I wake up in a different room. I don't know how I got there. And there are items all over my house, like, that should not be where I left them. They're not where I left them. Hampers, jars of salt. Like, you've heard stories that are similar to this. It's not far-fetched, man. Like, just add a dash of loneliness and a spoonful of belief system, and boom. Powder keg of aliens and abductions and my labs and God knows what else. It's not that crazy, man. It's not that crazy. So that's what I mean by that. That's why I wanted to show that, because I thought it was just insanely interesting. Okay, so I think this, we got two more things to talk about. And again, thanks guys for being here. I know this is a super late show. I mean, I had a rehearsal tonight and I drank some coffee. Now I'm awake. I'm usually sleeping by now because I'm waking up really early normally. So yeah. And I also wanted to test out some things, and do this. Like, I had a feeling something was going to go wrong with this stream when I first started it tonight. I wanted to check the internet connection and I wanted to see what was going on with this. So no offense, but smaller crowd later at night, it's a good time to make mistakes instead of during a normal day show. So thank you for being my test subjects, I guess is what I'm saying. Okay, so two more things. This was posted by Who's Axelrod, Go Kick Rocks 88. Go definitely, sub to her or follow her on Twitter. She's a good follow. Again, a person I don't agree with 100% of the time, but I think is very fair to both sides of the argument. As fair as she can be. Okay, so that moment when members of Congress realized the mic is running this joint. So listen to what Representative Luna says after they get out of this SCIF meeting. And I've been saying this for months. I have been saying this exact thing for months. She does not have the classified clearance to look at the data no matter where she goes. She doesn't sit on any committees. Neither does this other Jared something. I want to call him Jared Moskovich. I know that's not his last name. But anyway, his name is slipping my mind. But all of these congressmen, that some are very new to the Hill, some have been on Capitol Hill for a little while, like Tim Burchett. All of them, none of them have the clearance or sit on the committees to look at this stuff. All of them. So just listen to what Luna says here, and maybe people start listening.
Yeah, we were actually told that we don't have clearance to learn some certain things.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Again.
Is that in itself telling?
It could be. I don't want to read into it, but obviously, I think a lot of members were very frustrated.
You guys both look frustrated. You guys both seem
The
frustrated.
fact is that Congress should have oversight and the ability to look into and have access to these programs. And the fact is that we're being told that we don't have access to these programs, which defeats the purpose of what we're supposed to be doing.
Gee, I wonder why.
Do you have access if they're on armed services or anything?
No.
Oh, really?
No members.
Well, they didn't
It's
tell
like,
us.
why not one of these 4 reporters, 2 reporters that are there asking questions, which is another red flag. There should be hundreds of reporters if this was a big, true deal, which it's not. But why aren't any of them asking, hey, isn't it right that you guys don't sit on the proper committees that would give you access to this information? Can you answer that question? Can anybody ask them that question? You don't sit on any committees. You're simply not powerful enough, or don't have the access. You don't have the juice to look at those things. This was Gillibrand, Rubio, Schiff. I was going to say Feinstein, but rest in peace. Yeah, I mean, both of them said it.
They wouldn't answer that. Yeah, we were actually told that we don't have clearance to learn.
Yeah, we were told we don't have the clearance to learn about this. So they both said it. They don't have the clearance, man. Been saying this shit for months and months and months and months. Over and over and over and over again, like a broken record. But yet the debrief and Liberation Times and Jeremy Corbell and Jay from Project Unity and that UFO podcast, all of those entities, all of those outlets, all of the, the Marieke von Kloppenstick, all of these guys that push this DOD narrative. And that's, I think, what I'm going to call it. And also the prophets of profit. All of these guys are pushing these entry-level congressmen that don't sit on any committees for months. Not one of them knew that they didn't have the clearance. The congressmen themselves didn't understand that they didn't have the clearance. These are your leaders of disclosure. What, Tim Burchett, who got his own bill blocked by the very rule that he helped write? Like, it's a shit show. It's a clown show. It's so dumb, man. Like, ay. And then, okay, this is the last thing. And I kind of got fooled by this one, but it doesn't matter because and I'll show you why. So this video surfaced on Halloween, and I'm sure some folks saw it. It was basically the title of this clip, and it's a TikTok clip. Dubai's Halloween drone show is insane. So you see the huge, tallest building in the world, the streets of Dubai, and this looks like thousands of drones that are in the sky creating this walking skeleton with, red glowing eyes. And it's awesome. I thought it was real, but somebody said, hey, nobody's looking at it, and there are CGI motion blurs on this thing. I was like, oh yeah, sure are. Look at that. So it's fake. It's totally fake, right? Okay, well, that's good to know. And again, like, man, dude, we're getting into an interesting time where things look really good now. Like, it's hard to tell some of these fakes unless you're really, really, really paying attention to it. Okay. But with that said, I did find, and other people found too, other examples of drone shows very similar to that one. I don't think this one's real. It could be wrong, but I've never seen that one. Here's this one I have seen, a Pac-Man in New York City where the drones basically created a huge Pac-Man in the sky. Where's the one I posted? Just because I know for sure that one is real. I didn't really look into the comments of this one, but let me check out the one I posted. Yo. 31st. It's got to be on the 31st. Oh, yeah, that's. Did anybody see this new Bigfoot picture? I've been saying it looks like a costume test for the movie Harry and the Hendersons. And I photoshopped a picture of Harry from Harry and the Hendersons next to it, and it's. Looks pretty close. Pretty close. So my replies here. Oh yeah, sweet ass space elevator. Somebody made a CGI sort of mock-up of what a space elevator would look like, and man, it was awesome. All right, where? Oh, we didn't even talk about my UAP mic. Slowest chase in the world at it. It was wonderful. Okay, here it is. So another dazzling drone display. Let me just kill the music there. But check this out, man. Like, look at this. Like, all of these Chinese symbols and writings in the sky with these drones. They're massive. They're so cool. And this is real. Like, you know, so, and that's just simple stuff. Look at this. They got a panda. Like, and so, again, like, this technology has just been hitting the market for the last, I'd say, 5 years. This drone swarm technology where it's commercially available like this, where people are making money off of this technology, which tells you that, man, the United States military has had stuff like this for a long time. A long time. They were the ones who developed it, for fuck's sake. They've developed the drone swarms and those things like that. All of that software that connects these things together. So it wouldn't shock me if the United States military uses this kind of tech to create UFO sightings, to create confusion for enemies, all sorts of stuff, man. All sorts of confusion can be done with these. So anyway, yeah, I just thought that was a really cool, you know, again, like we've shown these drones before on the show. It's just another prosaic explanation, especially now that this tech has only been in the public sector for about, like I said, 5 or 6 years. So not everyone in the world has seen displays like this or videos of displays like this. So if somebody saw it for the first time and it was doing, you know, like in one of these, it was doing like a spinning disc almost. It was like this one right here, you know, it just take the Chinese symbol out of the middle of it and boom, you spin them, and someone could easily mistake that for an unidentified flying object. So yeah, you know, again, just things to think about, things to consider when you go down this rabbit hole of belief systems. Let me go ahead and do this just because, hey, you know, is what it is. We got some wild people here, but yeah, this is a little video I put together of, making fun of UAP Mike. So I found his YouTube channel. And it's funny because this guy has criticized my channel so much. And before we really had a parting of ways, he would brag about how he's hosted a UFO channel. He would give me these suggestions and say all these things to me. And I never saw his UFO channel. I never saw his YouTube channel up until recently. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you who shared it with me, but I knew this existed for a while, and man, I'm so happy I got my hands on it. Because yeah, the moxie, the balls that UAP Mike has to mock, criticize, harass other channels for their content with the 9 shitty, crappy, low quality, tacky, awkward, lame, shit produced videos that you made on your channel. Like, even with all the technical difficulties that I've had in the last couple months, they do not compare to the garbage that you produced in just 9 shows. He gave up after 9 shows. What's the matter, Mike? You couldn't do it? Didn't have the work ethic? Found out it was hard? What happened, buddy? Anyway, fair use. This is transformative work. We are educating the public and critiquing and also mocking the videos we are sharing. This is covered under fair use and allowable by law. I'm going to go ahead and just to really sort of keep myself safe here, gonna do this here. Let's put this warning right over the middle of it. About right there, so that way we don't block too much of the good stuff. And if you haven't seen this, please go check out my Twitter. On Twitter I can post this without any worries of getting any kind of copyrights, but you know how these maniacs are. So let's check it out.
How slow can you go when it comes to a police chase, you ask? Good question. A bizarre pursuit in Texas has crowds mesmerized for 2 hours. This suspected drug dealer, you're going to see this white car rolling down the highway at a leisurely pace with a fleet of police following his trail. The most fascinating part, the surprise ending. Fort Worth police followed the white Nissan for more than 2 hours. The suspect in no hurry to escape. Crowds of gawkers gathered on overpasses to snap photos of the slow ride.
I listened to an interview for maybe like an hour and a half last night. I forget the name of the actual podcast. I'll plug it in the link below. But it was a recommendation from a gentleman on Twitter named Eric.
At one point, the suspect took off his shirt, talked on his cell phone. One witness in traffic told ABC affiliate WFAA the guy was, quote, waving at us like he had a parade or something.
A lot of eye-opening things. Definitely, I learned about Rick Doty. I guess I kind of knew what he was doing. I never really thought he was, giving Paul Benowitz drugs. I thought that was kind of silly. But I did think that he had a hand in pushing Paul Benowitz over the edge.
Police shut down highway exits and entrances, causing rush hour traffic snarls. But just when you think he's finally going to stop, he resumes his slow crawl.
Yes, this is UAP Mike.
Cool story was Rick Doty said some things about Kecksburg. He said, and he used the word, he said definitely was the crash retrieval team sent there to Kecksburg. And the other thing he said, which, it was related to space debris that made me, made my ears perk up, was he said landed.
I know you're wondering, why didn't police just pull in front of the car? Well, it's simple.
I think it
According
might
to
be illegal to
policy
do
there,
that.
Officers are not allowed to pass and block
Then again,
the
this was
vehicle
like 4 or
during a
5 years
chase.
ago.
Instead, officers resorted to loudspeakers and sirens. They even put out spike sticks. No dice.
So, what is landing from space that we have to send a retrieval team to go get? I mean, could it have been one of ours? But it definitely didn't seem like it, Doty said it landed, not crashed.
Then, enough is enough. A police SWAT car performed a pit maneuver
I love
and
the
rammed
sound
the back
effects
of the
I added.
suspect's car, causing it to slam into a concrete median. SWAT officers swarmed the suspect. We're told a considerable amount of methamphetamines was found in the car. So there you have it. A guy who drives a
Mike?
getaway car in the slow lane
Methamphetamines?
busted for a drug. No
What?
speed.
Bruh.
Bruh. UAP Tool, certified cult leader, UAP Mike. I think that might be my favorite part.
Drug known as speed.
Bruh.
Bruh. More to come. More to come. Oh, man. Yeah, I had a tough time because he's got another driving one in there with his wife, Joyce. Kids, all you can see are their shoulders. And it's so funny. Oh, man, just, yeah. Anyway, I got more edits coming, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Oh, by the way, I was on Cam Bain's show last night, so go check that out. That was a fun 2 hours. And let's see here. Oh, this was interesting. James Fox posted... This guy, man. This guy's killing me. Our latest film has shot 98%. Okay, that's an odd number. You got 98% of the film in the can, Fox? Awesome. Thank you for that update. And I'm currently in the editing room for the next 4 to 6 months. But wait a second, 98% of it's in the can, so you got another 2% to shoot, but you're already editing it? All right. I mean, all right. This moment with Tim Burchett was incredibly powerful as he was sharing the level of shock some fellow lawmakers experienced after hearing David Grush testify. No, they weren't. I don't think, and Tim Burchett has said, he doesn't trust Grush. He's been warned about Grush and how unreliable his information is. And it's just wild, man, because we're getting all of these reports, fake reports, about people being attacked in South America. And he just did a film about the Varginha case in Brazil, a movie that he said he had a video of this alien, and then when he released the film, there was no alien in the film. And then all of a sudden it turned into a reward for the film. Still, nobody's claimed that reward. I think it's a $75,000, $50,000 reward for this video. And I know $50,000 US dollars goes a long way in South America. I feel like that would be enough money to convince somebody to let go of that video, but maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it just doesn't exist. But you know, this is James Fox. This is his thing now. He's trying to pump out a movie every year. He doesn't care what the results are. He doesn't come back and once questions have been answered and resolve those from previous movies or previous documentaries. It's just like, here it is. Give me my money. And I can't wait to produce this next one. And oh, by the way, I'm going to ask you for money to do it. I'm going to raise the money through my donations, through my supporters. Then I'm going to turn around and charge you guys to watch it and just do it all over again. Then I'm going to sell it to Netflix. I'm going to sell it to Amazon. I'm going to make a shit ton of money on rentals and buyouts from networks and studios. We're talking millions, man, per film. And these budgets on these films are less than $50,000 each. Seriously. James Fox owns all of his own camera equipment, so he doesn't have to pay for that. He asks the same people. I mean, he edits it. I believe he edits his own films, so he doesn't have to pay for that. He directs it, and he also, he uses the same people. So it's a very tight-knit, revolving thing. He can pump out a movie now basically every other year and a half. It's just, like I said, it's more hero worship and bootlicking. We're still waiting on this Varginha alien, and but I guess, yeah, it's just like squeezed all the blood out of that rock. I'm moving on to the next one. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. Let's see here. Oh yeah, check out this space elevator, this rendition of a space elevator. This is so cool. Like, I think if we could actually get to a day with this would be awesome. Taking an elevator to space, and it's so fast, man. Like, it's hauling ass.
If you look above, you'll see Centauri space station coming into view. Once we dock, gather your belongings.
Dude, it's so cool. It's like 45 seconds and you're in space. Dude, that's insane. I would love to see this. I would love to see that. I'm so curious how something like this would get constructed. I really am. Like, I'm super curious. And how, yeah, just all sorts of questions. All sorts of questions about something like that. Man, that's so cool. So cool. All right, anyway. Let's get... I think we should delete this one. Right? Because this one didn't... Yeah, anyway. All right. So, yeah. I think that's pretty much the show, you guys. Let me see here. Let me kick on the tunes, baby, because I'm classy and sassy. Go ahead and turn this down a little bit. There we go. All right. Let me go ahead and I'm going to check out the comments here before I get out of here, you guys. And I think next time we do a show, we will definitely open the lines because it seems like the internet connection's back. Everything worked except for that first stream. Everything else, after we restarted and logged back in and had to restart the stream, everything has worked really well. Knock on wood. It goes that way. I know it's not, but I believe. B. Baker, space elevators are such a cool idea, but material science hasn't caught up yet. Yeah, totally agreed. But also, like, I just don't know, like, at what point does the space construction stop and meet the Earth construction of it? Like, I don't, like, how does that part of it work? That's what I'm interested in. Okay. Eventide, a scary thought with space elevators is if it were to break, the falling cable would wrap around the equator several times. Fuck, I didn't even think of that. Is that true? I mean, it's only 20, 30 miles in space, right? Like, it's not that far away. But yeah, if it did break, it would definitely fall all over Disney World. You know, like if they built it in Cape Canaveral, like, I mean, yeah, that'd be weird. That would be scary. Silly Goose, most of the UFO documentaries that are on a free streaming service have either Richard Dolan, Jimmy Church, or Billy Carson in them. Oh man, those three guys. I mean, Billy Carson in particular, that guy is just the worst, one of the worst grifters and just con men out there. Jimmy is a low bar. R. Wolf, he's good to hype up his films. This time I've got evidence, waiting for the game-changing clip. Yeah, he always pumps up these movies like he's got some game-changing evidence. Who made more money, James Fox from all his films or the lighting guy on Monsters of California? It's a great question. It's a great question because, yeah, I mean, for $82 million movie that only cost for sure $7 to $8 million. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Fox. But it wouldn't shock me if the lighting guy made more. Dana Shadell, who's a member. Thank you so much, Dana, for being a member. Truly appreciate it. Yeah, I changed my mind about him, or he's changed. Yeah, I think he's definitely changed. I mean, Silly Goose says, I mean, they are better than the craptastic Jimmy Church documentaries with Billy Carson. I agree there. At least James Fox, well, look, I said this about James Fox documentaries. He's a decent filmmaker. He's not bad. He was definitely, at one point, the best filmmaker in this genre until Jeremy Corbell came on the scene. And yeah, I don't think, visually speaking anyway, James Fox can compare. Like, I gotta give Corbell that. He's got a good eye for cinema. He's got a good eye with the camera. I cannot deny that. But yeah, as good a storyteller as James Fox, I don't think so. I think I think James Fox got the edge on him there. But I mean, you know, like, this both are really low bars, and it's not saying much. Let's see here. B. Baker. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely way better than the Jimmy Church and Billy Carson documentaries. It's not even close. B. Baker. Fox actually had a good rep at one point. Sad. Interesting. Who was his rep? I'm wondering who his rep is. That's interesting. James Craig. That's 250,000 in Brazil. They would be rich there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like who would not turn over that video for $250,000? Especially according to James Fox, he's already seen it. He knows it's there. You know, like how much? It's just, you'll never see it because it doesn't exist. And if it does exist, I promise you, it will be the lamest turd you ever see, ever. It will look fake, it will look stupid, it will be completely unrealistic, and there'll be no way to confirm at all if the alien that is on film is in fact an alien. It'll be like one simple angle. They won't turn it, they won't dissect it, they won't peel it apart, they won't do any of that stuff. You won't see it move, you won't see it walk or talk or breathe or any of that stuff. It'll just be in a box, and that's about it. It'll be just as good as those fake alien dummies in the Roswell Museum. It'll be like that. So yeah. Let's see here. Fox is not great, in my opinion, according to Kimball Mortensen. Let's see here. Fox just needs to stop. His reputation is already in shambles, says B. Baker. Insert intro, insert dialogue, insert B-roll, insert dialogue, insert B-roll, repeat. That's perfect. No, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Oh man, we lost our music. There we go. Put that back on. Editing is hard. For sure. For sure, editing is hard. Let's go ahead and switch the main camera here, guys. Alrighty. Yeah, anyway, I appreciate all of the comments, you guys, all of the super chats that we got tonight. Truly appreciate it. I think the next time, unfortunately, the only thing I didn't have was access to my chat here in my software. So I should be able, the next time we stream live, I should be able to highlight chats, you know, so that way we could keep them on the screen and stuff like that. So hopefully that'll happen in the next stream. But again, I appreciate all of your guys' patience. I appreciate you guys for being here on a late Thursday night here. Please do not forget to smack that like button. It's so important. You know, out of anything, hit that like button or the dislike button if you don't like it. Either way. And if you dislike it, tell us why in the comments below. Maybe I respond. Maybe I don't care. Roll the dice. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell, of course, so that way you're notified anytime we go live with stuff like this. And if you want to support with the almighty dollar, like I said, we've got links in the description below to our Patreon, so please check that out. Once again, thank you for embarking on this journey of discovery together. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and thank you for subscribing, watching, and sharing your love for Lou Reviews. Until next time, thank you so much for helping raise the bar. Have a wonderful night. Ooh, Eventide, thank you so much for becoming a member, man. Truly appreciate it. Thank you.